doing a review for AMC's Preacher, Season 1, Episode 5, entitled The South Will Rise. So I thought tonight's episode was okay. Wasn't great, but wasn't bad. It was okay. Let's see, what happened? Well, Cassidy and Tulip hooked up. I thought that was pretty funny. Of course, she knows that he's a vampire. We had Jesse. He's using that powers of his for good. But I gotta say, he's kind of smug about it. And we had this flashback to the Wild West again. Where you've got this like cowboy character. You saw him in the first time they flashed back to the Wild West, where he talked to some, pioneers, and then he went out and you saw the tree with all the Native Americans were hanging from it. Well, now we see him again, and he goes into the town and gets some drugs, and he sees that people, the bartender is paying money for scalps, and then gets into a fight, and then he goes back to his settlement where I guess everyone's dead. But I know it's a character from the comic book, so I'm wondering when these going back to the Wild West, when that's going to tie into current day in the show. Like I said, it was just a simple episode. They're still kind of lacking with storylines. You've got Jesse, he's got the powers, and now he's talked to the angels, so maybe that'll go somewhere where they're telling them that's not a good thing that's inside of him, it's bad, and they need to get it out. So there'll be some conflict there. My favorite scene, though, was the slaughterhouse guy, Kincannon, where now he believes he needs to serve God. So you think he's going to be a good guy, and then he meets with these sort of like Greenpeace types. They're like green energy types. And they're having a meeting. He's like, "Oh, everything here, have some brandy." Yeah, you shaking hands, and then all of a sudden he just pulls out a shotgun and starts shooting. There's no explanation as to why he thought he should kill them. I didn't know how the scene was going to play out. I had a feeling that something wasn't going to go down because it's all cheerful and whatnot, and it's like, okay, now this is going to turn sideways at some point. But there's also this thing, like one of the guys was in the bathroom, like, oh, is that going to be some new character who's going to be important throughout the season? But no, he shot that guy too. So like I said, it was a simple episode. There's not really a lot to talk about with these preachers so far. The episodes that they've had, they just have people do simple stuff. And, hurting on storylines, I said before. I mean, what's up with the AC? They didn't mention in this episode at all. You're still wondering, is that AC going to get fixed in the church? And we'll have to see.